Alright, in this video tutorial we are going to make a collage out of a picture and make it look like a series of Polaroids. So we want to start by opening our photo that we're going to use. So I'm going to go up to File and Open, and I've just saved it to my desktop to make it easy to find. Alright, and now we want to duplicate this background layer. So I can either right click and I can duplicate layer here, or I can go up to layer and duplicate layer at the top. Next we're going to click on that bottom background layer, the first original layer, and we are going to go down to the very bottom. Right next to the trash bin is where we can create a new layer, and we're going to add a new layer so it pops in between these two. Now we want to make sure that the foreground color is set to black. So if we look over here right now it's white. So we want to just hit these two little arrows to reverse that and make sure it's black. Now we're going to select the paint bucket tool over here, and we're going to click on the photo, okay, making sure that our black layer is still selected. So essentially it's going to be filling in, it just filled it in to make sure that that is black now. Now we want to create a new layer above this one, so again go down to the bottom next to the trash can, or you can also go up to the top where it says layer and click on new layer as well. A couple ways to get there. Now we want to select the rectangle marquee tool, so we want to use this one over here. See, if you hover over it, it says rectangular marquee tool. That gives you those little marching ants. What we want to do is we want to create a rectangle around the area that we want to be our first picture. So I'm going to go with, I don't know, I guess I'll take my husband and I. Okay, and then if we want to make sure that it's a perfect square, I can hold the shift button down. So I'm going to deselect that for now, and I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to drag the piece I want for my first square. Holding the shift, it's going to ensure that that is a perfect square. Alright, now we want to use the paint bucket tool, and we want to paint that rectangle black. So I'm going to go back to the paint bucket tool. Okay, I still have the black selected, and I'm going to click inside this square. Now nothing happened here, but you'll notice over on the layer you can see that little black square that's appeared. We're going to go and click on that top layer now, make sure that that one is highlighted. And we want to create a clipping mask. So we want to right click on that and we want to click Create Clipping Mask. So it's kind of just gotten rid of everything but that little photo piece that we did. Now I don't want those little marching ants anymore, so I want to deselect so that those little marching ants stop. Alright, we're going to click on this black layer now, and we're going to add a new layer above it. So again, there's a couple ways you can do it. For me, one click is faster than doing two, so I always go down by the trash can. So I've got a new layer above it, and I'm going to rename it border. To rename it, just double click so that it highlights there, and call that our border layer. Now I'm going to select that rectangle marquee tool again. So again, it's just that one with the dotted lines. And this time I'm going to draw a rectangle that surrounds the picture. In a Polaroid image, normally the borders are bigger at the bottom. So as I draw this, it's not going to be a perfect square. I definitely don't want to hold shift. I want to make sure that the bottom is slightly larger. Okay, and then I'm going to I want to choose fill. I can either right click and choose fill, or I believe I can go up to edit as well, and I can fill that way. And I want to make sure that I am using white as a background, so I'm going to just click on that content aware and change that to white, and then I can press OK. So there's my first Polaroid picture. And again, I want to deselect those marching ends. So we want to press uh, Control D on a Windows to get rid of that, or Command D to get rid of those marching ends, or go up to the select and deselect them. A couple ways. All right, now what we want to do is we want to go to at the top where it says Layer, and we're going to choose Layer Style. And we're going to go down and choose the one that says Drop Shadow. Okay, and then we're going to select our opacity here, which is at 75. We're going to change that to 40. And our angle's at 30, so that's good. And we're going to click OK again. Again, you're not going to see a change yet. You'll see that a little later on. All right, we want to click now on we want this border layer as well as this layer 2. We want both of those to be selected. So I'm going to have to hold the shift and click on the layer above it so that they both are now highlighted. And I want to use the free transform tool. So Control T is the shortcut. I can also use, which one is, the quick selection. I think it's in Edit, yeah, and I can free transform there. On a Mac, it's a Command T, but yours Windows would be a Control T. So I want to free transform that, and now what I can do is I can rotate it. If I go over a corner, I can spin it a little bit. And I can also resize it if I wanted to. But I'm going to leave it that way. And then when you're satisfied, just press Enter to confirm that rotation. Now what we want to do is we want to select all three of these top layers. So we want to press Shift and click on that top layer as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to group these layers. So we can, the shortcut is Control G, or you can go up to, it's in Layer, and we can go down to here where it says Group Layer. So Command G on a Mac, Control G on a Windows. And now all three of those layers have collapsed into what's now called Group 1. Now we're going to duplicate this group. So I'm going to duplicate that group by right-clicking, or you can go up to Layer and duplicate it there. So I have a copy of that. And I'm going to open up that duplicated group by clicking on that little arrow to the side here. And I want to select that visible layer, the one with the black dot. So I'm going to click on that layer to make sure that that one's highlighted. And I want to I want to also have the border layer selected as well. So I'm going to hold my shift down and select that layer as well. You can also press Control and just click on each of those layers as well. Now we're going to use the Move tool, so that's the top arrow. Okay, and we're going to just click on the photo, and as I click and move it, you'll see a new photo appear. So essentially, well, it's the same photo, we're just dragging a new, our new Polaroid. And you can drag it to wherever you want. And again, we want to free transform that, so Control T or go up to Edit and free transform. And you can rotate how you want that one to appear. And I can press Enter to confirm that rotation. If I don't like how it's sitting, I can move it down a little bit. And basically what I want to do is I want to continue to repeat these steps. So each time I need a new photo or a new Polaroid background, I notice how I just collapsed that group so it's not all open. Click on the arrow again, is I want to right click and duplicate that group again. And then I want to make sure that I have those two layers, that visible layer with the black, as well as that border highlighted. And then I can drag a new Polaroid. And then I can always free transform that. So basically that is the idea on making a Polaroid collage. You can click on the arrow so that group's gone. I always find if the group's gone, I make sure that I'm duplicating the whole folder. So I right click, oops, and I did it again. And I want to duplicate the group, open up the arrow, select both of those layers, and then I can click on a photo, click on the photo, and add a new Polaroid. Control T to transform. Hover over until you can rotate it the way you want, and enter to place it. And essentially that is the process. So with a photo of your choosing, you are going to create a Polaroid collage. So I'm going to continue adding more photos to mine until I've got that look that I want. In the meantime, you guys are going to also begin and try this out. So good luck and enjoy. Hope you learned something new.